In a prior video, I showed you guys how to make this style of face masks. I have them in every design, every color to match all my outfits. And I sent a bunch to you guys. Welcome to the Bear Pantry Show. If you're looking for authentic Belizean recipes, then you're in the right place. My name is Barbara and this is Cooking Made Simple. Now today I want to show you guys how to make a different type of mask where all you need for the template is the lid of a pot. You can use a sewing machine if you own one, if not needle and thread will do. And with just a few twists and turns, you can have a mask that looks like this. Now let's begin. You're going to have to get a piece of fabric that's big enough to fold like this, because we're going to use the lid of a pot or a pot lid that's 11 inches wide, so that we can use a Sharpie to draw a circle like this around the lid. And then we're going to go ahead and cut it out. Now this is not the fabric that I'm going to use to make today's mask, but because I'm doing a whole bunch of them at once while I'm recording this video, I'm just showing you this as the segment for the cutting of the template. Okay, this is the fabric we're going to use. So you want to iron open your circles and then fold it in half like this and iron to make a crease. Fold it in half again, which makes it quarters, to make another crease, and then open it up. Take one piece like this, the left or the right, it doesn't matter, put it towards the line and iron again so that you can make this. We want to get 1/8 of this out of the circle. Okay, hey guys, don't forget to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. So see, I folded it, ironed, folded it like this, ironed, opened it, folded like this towards the line, and then ironed, because we're trying to get a fraction, right? We want to get 1/8. Open it back up. So this template is not as complicated as the other mask that I showed you guys a few months ago. It's very simple. Cut out 1/8 of this pie. Okay. And then now you're going to want to sew around the whole circumference, but not the whole. Well, first of all, you have to put pretty side to pretty side on the fabric, but this fabric doesn't have a bad or a good side. So put the fabric together, pretty side to pretty side, or correct side to correct side, and sew around like this, but don't go into the opening. So see, Joe sewed it. See, right around and around. You can sew this by hand. The lady that I watched, she went ahead and did base stitching for it, but I would do back stitching if I sewed it by hand. Remove the pins and then grab a hold of the seams, both ends of the seam. And when you grab a hold of it, you want to hold on to it for dear life. Don't let it go, because you're going to be dropping a piece of the fabric into itself like this to form like a pita pocket. So I'm still kind of fighting with it because the fabric is kind of smooth and flimsy. It's part cotton, part polyester. So I would do it with full cotton if I'm to make more. Okay, so make sure it's lined up evenly, and you're gonna see these slits on it. So let me show you that again with another mask. Grab a hold of the seams, hold them together, and shake one layer of the mask in itself. Just shove it in there to form a pocket. Okay, see, it takes a little bit of time. Don't get frustrated. So once it's in there and you've smoothed it out, what you want to go ahead and do is grab a ruler and go from one end where we sewed and measure 1.5 inches, flip it over to the other side and measure 1.5 inches again. So now we're going to start sewing with a needle and thread. We're going to sew from one end to the black mark. So 2 pieces of fabric together, not 4 pieces, okay, 2 pieces from one end to the black mark. And then we open up the seam and we sew from the black mark. So when we open up the seam, we separate the 2 pieces of fabric and we'll sew from the black mark right across the seam to the next black mark, and then we stop here. Okay, don't go any further. So take a look. So we sewed from one end to the black mark, and then we bent it over and sewed to the other black mark. If you'd like a copy of my book, please check the description below for the different payment methods. So let's take a look again, guys. So remember, we did this side, we sewed from here to the black mark, and then we separated the fabric and we bent it over like this, just one bend, and we sewed from that black mark to this black mark. So now this is the opposite side. I went ahead and sewed from here to the black mark. See the black mark over here? Well, I'm not quite there yet. Let me finish. Let me get there. Make sure everything is lined up, okay? Let me sew another one. And this stitch is called back stitching. I think everybody needs to know this kind of stitch to survive in life. Let's see if we reach the black mark. One more. So then what we're gonna do, separate the fabric yet again, because we're making a hole. This is gonna be our turnover hole. And why we're doing all this fancy sewing is because we are just finishing off the hole so that it doesn't fray. So bend right here and then pick up right where we left off. And I've seen people who make this go ahead and do base stitching, but I do back stitch to secure it. Let me show you guys from another angle. As you can imagine, this is kind of hard to sew on the sewing machine, especially for newbies like Joe and me. Straighten up the thread. So this is all the sewing that this mask really has, to sew around the whole thing and then to go ahead and sew this hole shut. I really hope that I'm making it very clear as to what I'm doing, because I think sewing tutorials are kind of difficult for me to create because I'm still learning myself when it comes to sewing. So if you have questions, just ask below, okay? So now this hole is finished. Let's turn it over. And of course the camera's not catching what I'm doing, so let's cut away to the other mask that I'm making so I can show you how we turn it over. Just pull it through the hole. Okay, it's coming. Take your time. And then you want to go ahead and get your iron to iron this out. So I'm going to iron out the one that I'm actually making for this video, just to make sure everything lays flat. Looks like an old school water bottle, right? With the mouth on the top. Alright, so grab a hold of it like this, like if you're opening a bag of chips. Everything always comes back to food for me. And you want to shove this hole into itself like this. So make sure that the hole is on the inside. If the hole is not on the bottom part of this thing, you have folded it wrong. So just make sure the hole is there. I'm gonna make another pita pocket here, guys. Looking pretty good. Smooth it out as best as you can with your hands. You don't have to iron again. And then lift it like this. And then we're going to do one more fold to make the mask. Let's see. Open it up and just shove the underside like this. See? Here you have the mask. It's almost done. We just have to bend the ends to make the loop. This is the top part, so it's a pocket for you to put a filter. I'm going to also put a nose thing. I'm going to put a piece of pipe washer. I'm going to shove it into the hole. I'm going to use the hole, shove it in, and then work its way up to the top, see? And I'm going to put it on the inside liner that is more towards my nose. So I'm going to get a big piece. Let me cut it. this is my own designing right here. I've got it on the inside, and I'm making sure it's even between the seams. I'm going to pin it so Joe can sew it with a machine for me, or I could sew it by hand. Nobody's going to see this part because it's on the inside part. The lady that I watched to learn this from, I'm going to give her props down below. She didn't do this part, but you can. So this is what I'm doing. Flip the ends in like this, and we're going to tack. Alright? So when you tack it and sew it, you put your straps in according to the length that you desire. But when you put this elastic together, this is elastic for making masks. It's more like a rubber band that's flat and it's powdery. It kind of rotates through the loop, and you could see the part that you tack come up every now and again, and I hate it, so I'm just going to tack the elastic thingy inside the loop. So see how this looks? It looks kind of tacky, right? The way I tacked it. So this is what I want to shove inside of the loop and just sew it so it's stationary, it doesn't move. So take a look again, guys. This is the other mask we were working on. We bend the end or the ends like this to make the loop. I take a needle and thread and I tack it, and then I tack the elastic inside of it. So it looks kind of nasty on this side, but nobody will see that. You're the only one that will see that. The one that's wearing the mask will see that. And this is the face mask elastic. It's stupid. I hate it. I would never buy it again. I try to use this rubber band on this mask because it works great on my other style of mask, but this way it's too long, and if I double it over, then it becomes too many layers of rubber band and it's too short. So guess what? I crocheted this a chain stitch as long as I needed it to be, and I'm going to put it in here for my tie. The lady says you can use the top part of the pantyhose also. So now I'm tacking. So a lot of this you can sit on a couch and do. You know, while you're watching TV, you can make a pretty mask for you and your family. And I always teach you guys how to do this stuff because I don't want to do it. I don't want to make masks for sale, you know what I mean? So shove the chain stitch thing through. And then I'm just going to tie a double knot at the end. Make it bulky so that when I pull it through, it gets jammed inside the loop and it doesn't move and, you know, circle around and around like the elastic was doing. Okay, you can even do a triple knot like what I'm doing right here. And this is how that mask looks with the chain stitch thing, the crocheted thing. And you can put anything that you want to put for your straps, shoelaces, whatever. Just pick something, guys. Don't make it so hard. Wearing these masks is for you to protect the person you come in contact with, and for the person you come in contact with to protect you. And honestly, if somebody's not wearing a mask, I don't speak to them. I walk away because then they're not protecting me. Socially distance, guys. Don't forget. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you're seeing me on Facebook, don't forget to follow, like, and share the page. If you're seeing me on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share the page. And if you want to see me on a different platform, come and join the membership at Patreon. It's patreon.com/Bear Pantry Show.